I live in this world, and it happens 5, 10, 15 times a day. The innuendo for me does not work. She is not in a place where she thinks that's funny. So that pisses her off, and it feels like a tit for tat kind of thing, right? And I've tried to go that joke, and so now I kind of try to showcase that she's treating me like a servant. So I do try to make a joke out of it by saying yes, master, and bending over and shuffling out of the room like a little butler. And she thinks that's funny, but it still pisses me off that it's like, will you get me this? Will you get me that? Or I'll be like, hey, did you schedule that doctor's appointment for what? Sounds like your legs are broken, and she's like, shut up, just get it, please, just please. Like, it's a begging almost. And so my question is for Cynthia, like, where does this asking for everything behavior come from? What's the source of that? Is it a test, or is it can it be different things? Like, what is that?
The following program is intended for a mature audience. Viewer discretion is advised.
This I've got to see.
It's worth watching, so stay tuned.
Oh, Jason, that's a really incredible question. I think it's a combination of things, kind of like what you were alluding to. I think deeply rooted, let's say feminine energy, one of her greatest skills, vulnerabilities, practices is learning how to receive, the gift of the masculine presence in her life. And that's for a feminine presence to really breathe that in and feel your honor and your providership and your protection. That's a massive undertaking, because it's so golden and it's so kingly. And I think women get starving hungry for that innate need to receive what's in front of them. And if they don't know how, or have put up walls to that, there's almost like this circumventing of trying to get that feeling elsewhere. So it gets blown out of proportion, and it seems selfish and self-involved and out of touch. And I think a part of that as well is because there's not the practice of truly receiving what's there for her. There, the element of trying to, well, if I can control this situation and this person does what I ask, it's almost a reassurance in her own power and her own value. And then, yeah, I do think there's the layer of the testing in there. Will this king, let down his sword and do what I demand? So I think there's a really real, wonderful reason why this occurs, but it comes out in really negative ways that need to have, boundaries around it. Because the end result is we want her to be able to truly receive what you're giving, almost as if what she's about can possibly receive from you is like the most delicate, delicious, incredible dessert in the world. And right now she's trying to like snatch at the cheap candy to fill herself up. And we're guiding away from that toward what's truly important and what truly needs to happen.
I can associate with a lot of that with my wife. And, the story I shared earlier in the week, I'll share here is, I don't say no very often because it's just a pain in the ass, and I'm getting tired of it. And it does come across differently than maybe how she's feeling or what she's looking for. And so the story is, it was make me a quesadilla the other day, and I said, no, I'm busy, I got work to do. I don't have time. Please, I'm starving, I could really use a quesadilla. I'm like, I think all the stuff's in the kitchen. Come on, please, do it for me. And so, it continued all the way into the evening, where it was like, I really still want that quesadilla. And I was like, no. And then I could tell that she didn't feel good and she was exhausted. And I looked at her and felt compassion for her and was like, yeah, she's not going to eat because she feels so crappy. Without saying anything, I got up, made the quesadilla, and she walked in the kitchen and was like, are you making me a quesadilla? And I was like, uh-huh. I wasn't like, sure, honey. Yeah. I mean, that's what you wanted, right? I was just like, uh-huh. And she came up behind me and gave me a long hug. And that hasn't happened in years and years. And I mean, it was a long, passionate hug. And she's just like, thank you. That means so much to me. And so changing I'm going to do it right when you ask it to, I'm going to do it because I feel compassion for you because the state you're in really changed that dynamic for me. So I just wanted to.
That's amazing, Jason. And when I heard you said that she came up and gave you a hug like that speaks volumes, and it's about how she was able to receive in that moment, and it speaks value to your leadership and your kingliness and not kowtowing, but coming from the energy that felt right and aligned. So that's feels amazing to hear you share that.
To watch the rest of this episode for free and other episodes, go to greatmenmovemountains.com/VIP. Punch in your info and watch the rest for free.
Get more affection, love, and sex in your marriage. Get less paralyzing fear and rejection. Never miss an episode. Watch anytime, anywhere, 3 a.m. on the toilet. Get full episodes. GreatMenMoveMountains.com/VIP. The C Note Show.